Good morning and welcome to my channel Perfect Pastimes. My name's Amanda, my friends call me Amo. I live in Dorset in the southwest of England with my husband and my 3 dogs, and they're all somewhere. So don't be surprised if you see them popping in and out. I have a few things to catch you up with this week and a couple of finishes, which is always nice because it means I can move forward with other things. I'll just put my coffee down, sorry. If you can hear a strange noise in the background, it's the Hoover doing its thing. So first of all, my big finish is my Salty Days tea. No, my Salty Days, not the tea. Sorry. Amoebic brain cell is still a little in charge. Not so bad though. I'm grappling with it daily. Oh, excuse me. Anyway, my Salty Days by Veronica Lindberg. This is my Salty Days 2. My first one I did, and my daughter took it. That was done in Essentials Merino in a beautiful blue, which matched her eyes and blonde hair. I've done this one in Yarnsmith's Pebble Haze in the colour Ruby. It is a very different yarn. It is a cotton tube. If I got a spare end here, it is a cotton tube. You can just see the cotton there, and through the cotton tube is blown the acrylic colour. It's a very different feel to the merino. It did take a little time to dry, but luckily we had some sunny days, so I just had it outside and turned it. I didn't block it as such. I didn't put pins or anything in it. It was already big enough, and even then it has given quite a bit. As you can see, this I did the same size, the medium, but it's still come out a little bigger than I actually like. But saying that, it's supposed to be an oversize. I hit the sleeves perfectly. They don't flap in the way. So I was happy with those. It's only this bit that gave a little. My usual length, sort of just above the bottom of my jean zip. So I found this yarn very nice to work with, very easy to work with. It comes in 50-gram balls, and I bought 11. And I have gone into the 11th. That's all I have left. It comes to, there's my test swatch, 522 grams, the sweater, in the Yarnsmith's Pebble Haze. But because it's a cotton, of course, it will be slightly heavier than a merino anyway. So the colour is ruby, and it's a bit, no, I can't get it, the LEDs above, it's a bit calmer than this brightness you're seeing. A bit more maroon, burgundy shade. The camera seems to be picking up more of the white cotton. Incredibly comfortable, excuse me, sweater to wear. Very, very nice pattern to make, and I'd highly recommend having a go at it. Veronica takes you through step by step. She has videos as well, but the pattern isn't cluttered and it isn't overly wordy. So I have spoken about it in a few other of my podcasts. The brain cell let me actually get on and finish this one, so I'm absolutely over the moon to have the finish. Behind me you can see Clarice is wearing a couple of things. I blocked, this is the Moonlit Shawl by Sandra Paul of Cherry Heart Cherry Heart Podcast, and as you can see, it did come down quite nicely with the blocking. I talk about this in the last podcast, but I hadn't blocked it. If you did watch the last one, you'll know that these ends ended up here pre-blocking, and now they're at bust level. So I am so happy with how this yarn blocked. It is Knit Pro Terra in Riverbank. I said all this in the last podcast. It's thankfully quite a simple knit crochet, because the yarn is quite blotchy in its colour, so any fineness would have been lost totally, and I'll get onto that a bit later. But the pretty lace edging blocked out beautifully, and I'm over the moon. So that will go into my autumn pile of things to wear. It's going to get quite warm today, I believe. We're forecast for thunderstorms, so that usually comes with warm weather. I've got 20 degrees in here at the moment, so I may get a little warm in my salty days. The other thing that Clarice is wearing is my Anchor, the boyfriend size. It goes along with the Anchor summer shirt by Petite Knits. It's the same construction, obviously in a heavier weight yarn with sleeves, and I actually calls it the boyfriend size. I think she should have called it something else. It makes it sound like a man's jumper. Well, it could be a man's jumper, it could be a woman's jumper. It's going to be a woman's jumper, and I have done it in a grey, which some of you may say, well, it's a man's colour. Is there such a thing anymore? I don't think so. Anyway, it has this is where I was with you last time. I just started the yoke, and I have come down and split for the sleeves. I've made this in Peer Gynt, Sandsgarn Peer Gynt, which is a colour and yarn made for Petite Knit. And it's knitting up quite nice. It's a pure Norwegian. Talked about it in the last podcast. It is knitting up not firmly. I've got the right gauge on it, but it's a nice fabric. I've done the fourth size, I think, or third size. I think it's a 46 finish. Clarice is only a 36, hence it hanging slightly strange on her. Again, a nice winter throw over, but I'm clipping along quite nicely with that. I'm almost at the point of trying on and calculating how much more I'm going to do before the rib. Same length as this one will be. So I know my side seams, but it's always nice to see how the yoke drops slightly on a body. So perhaps I'll be doing that a bit later on today. My other garment project was the Spectre by Yoki Locatelli. I had a sneaky little cast on of that a couple of weeks ago, and when I showed you last time, I think I was partway through the top yoke. I'd done the around the collar work bit, and I just started into the pattern around the yoke itself. Well, I've gone down to there. I'm about 4 rows off splitting for the sleeves, and I've already started to introduce the second ball of yarn. So I've started my fade. You can just see there's some little stripes there coming through. The first layer of colour was the concrete, and the second one, I think this one is the Docklands, but that's the second colour Again, my LEDs are not giving them the best. Well, you can see all the different shades. There's purples and browns and a few flecks of black in that. So I'm going to be working a good few inches in that colour. Then I'll introduce the third colour and right the way down to the dark colour at the bottom. It's a lovely, lovely thing to knit. I'm really quite enjoying it, even though most of the stitches are purl. I could turn it around the other way and do most of the stitches as knit with the odd purl, but I'm quite happy with doing purl with the odd knit. And the little bud stitch at the top came out quite nice. There's a couple of videos online on how to do the bud stitch, and they both do it different ways. So I did it my way, and I was happy with that. You can see the little bobbles at the bottom of the trellis work there. Beautiful, beautiful yarn. Very, very nice to work with. It's just 100% merino. I've got 386 metres on a skein, so I'm hoping I'm going to have enough. If not, I'll just buy another ball of the dark one just to finish the ends off. Just catching up on my notes. Right, now the other thing I finished is a Snoopy. This came in Crochet Now magazine this month, and I do love a Snoopy. I managed to get some Stylecraft yarn, and I can't remember what it's called. I'm sure I'll put the name on the screen. It's a chenille yarn, so it is shredding and sharing its love absolutely everywhere. I will go and give him a bit of sellotaping later, I think. My head seems to come up slightly bigger than the body, but I'm okay with that. It's a cuddly toy. I did use a 6.5mm needle rather than an 8mm needle. If I'd have used the 8mm hook, he would have probably been quite a bit bigger, but the gaps in the stitch would have been a lot bigger too. And I quite like the denseness I got with the 6.5mm. So he's finished, and Remy ran away from him. Willow wanted to deaded him, and Gwynnie was fine with him. So I had a couple of pictures of Gwynnie cuddling Snoopy. So he was another finish. He can sit up there with Froggo, and they can get up to mischief together. I did that little shawl, I can't remember where I put it now, the moonlit shawl, and I enjoyed having a little shawl on the go. So when I was watching Angela Makes in Northern Ireland the other day, I will put her link below, another podcaster worth watching. She has started working on the Ross Trevor shawl by Brenda Brayfield. This is the only picture I've got on the pattern. I'll insert a couple more pictures for you. If you watch Angela, she has a nice percentage off for this next couple of weeks on this Ross Trevor shawl. I just fancy doing something with a little bit more pattern. It's a nice written pattern. It comes with charts for you to tick off where you are in the repeat of pattern and your increases. It also gives advice of which yarns to use, and they advise, because of the density of the pattern itself, to use a fairly simple yarn. If I'd have used something like this, it would have totally been pointless. So I had from Fruitful Fusion her colour Marrakesh, which is 50 merino, 50 silk, and I thought that this would be plain enough. Beautiful neutrals, very soft chocolate, and there's the blues and pinks and greens, a couple of splashes of tiny yellows on this gorgeous cream base. So I did my I did start on it. Let me take that marker out, there we go. But as I was working on it, you can't see the pattern. It's just a tiny bit too busy, just a tiny bit too busy. So I went and had a little bit of a stash dive and found this one, which is a zucchini, and I cannot read the name on this very well at all. Chaikyu, 75 merino, 25 silk, 100 grams, 400 meters. Chaikyu, Chykiu is the colour, and it's a warm rust burgundies. There's some oranges in there. My lights are not doing any of the colours any favours today. It's quite early, so the sun hasn't come round yet. And I have made a start. Again, a very in-depth, nice pattern. Walks you through, and this time you can actually see the patterns in it. So I'm pleased I spotted that early enough and changed the yarn. I'm getting on with that. She expects you to weigh it after every pattern repeat. So I've got one of my mini scales in my bag as well. I'm not quite sure why we have to weigh everything. I think it's because you get halfway, turn around and come back again. But I think that's going to be a favourite. Go over to Angela, share the love. Angela Makes NI. I'll put her links down below. If you watch her, she'll give you a nice little bonus on that pattern by Brenda. So take advantage of that if you can. And like I said, give her a like and subscribe perhaps too. Catching up with my notes now. What are we doing for time? Oh, that's not bad. I think I've done, I'm sorry about the umming. Brain cell is still battling me at the moment, but I'm getting there. The sewing. I have finished my little bee hanging, which I bought from Louise Nichols. Snoopy has shed all over the white at the back of this. So I can't remember which podcast I spoke about this, 2 or 3 ago anyway. It's a lovely little kit I bought from Louise. She's down in Cornwall. It's one of her own designs. She draws and then makes the lino print, cuts the lino, prints the lino onto fabric, and sells just the print or as a kit. This was a full kit. I found a nice piece of driftwood to hang it on, and I was really pleased with that because it was just so relaxing and nothing taxing about it at all. Nice little size. I think it's 8 by 9 finish without the straps. So I hope you go over to Louise and give her a kit look. I know a couple of you haven't, and let me know. Nice little project she has over there, and I'm sure she'll gear up for some new ones towards the new year, end of the year. My other stitchy finish is the Parhamel. I'm over the moon to get him finished. This is a piece of beechwood. It's a fence post, and I've had it for some time sitting waiting for me to finish this, but it's a bit off scale, so I'm going to have to go through my bits and find another piece. I've got a glass dome that I can put over him if I find the right piece of wood. He has bronze feet. This was a kit by Jenny Aiden Christie in gold work and a bit of stump work. If you've been a part of my community posts, it's free, there's no charges. It's not like the other thing. I know you're all shouting at me. You don't pay to join the group. It's a free group. If you go to my front page, along the bottom where it says the videos, shorts and everything, the posts at the end, in there you'll have been following along with me as I make this little owl. Under his head is a pincushion, and in there is room for a thimble. I have a few thimbles here. I've yet to find the right one. All my thimbles, I've got big fingers. They're very tall, so I need to find a shorter one so that his head can go back on. I've got a little collection of silver thimbles up there, so I will find the right one eventually. And under his wings, is a needle book. So you put the needle under there. There's a little magnetic clasp, the pin cushion and the thimble. He's a little etui, and I'm very, very, very pleased to get that finished. I must have bought that 3 years ago now. I was waiting for the Owl and the Pussycat to be finished, which I haven't picked up from my framers yet. I haven't been into town for a little while. And I will find a better piece of wood from my big box of driftwood for him. And I think that's everything I've been working on now. I have a couple of cross stitches I'm going to dig out. Now I've got the Parhamel out the way, I can be getting on with the cross stitches. This week I bought in some yarn as West Yorkshire Spinners have brought out their latest signature 4-ply collection, and it's the Butterflies collection. So I treated myself to 3 of those. This is a small tortoise shell, and this is how it will knit up. So that small tortoise shell, says it at the bottom. These are all 75% wool, 25 nylon, 400 meters. Reared, sheared and spun in Britain. So that small tortoise shell, that's Chalk Hill Blue. We get Chalk Hill Blues in the garden. We are on chalk. So it's nice to see a butterfly that we have. We get small tortoise shells too, and Purple Emperor. Beautiful colours. I will add them to my sock basket, and I can do some socks in these colourways, just showing you how they knit up. I think with these ones I may do some tubes with some afterthought heels. I like quite simple socks. So that is everything I've managed to do over the past couple of weeks, along with everything else involving hospital, of course. I onto life now. First, thank you again for all your messages here, emails, on Instagram messages. Thank you. Your support has been wonderful. Always nice to read them, makes me smile. Hugs all gratefully received. Thank you. I feel very squished. This week I spent 8 hours in A&E. I was getting cramps in my chest around my heart. It kept coming in waves and I was a bit worried. And then when my arm started going numb, we went down to A&E. They quickly got me through to this triage, but I had to have chest x-rays, blood tests, ECGs and all this sort of stuff. I had quite a good snooze on the bed actually, but it turns out it's pericardial spasms, probably brought on by the cancer treatment. Good news is they were happy with my blood tests. My white cell count is looking better. Nothing wrong with my arteries, nothing wrong with my heart at all. So that was good to have a good MOT there. I have my next hematology blood tests on Monday. I am feeling a lot brighter and a lot more positive. Obviously, things have moved along in my body, so I am feeling very, very good. I still can fall asleep at the drop of a hat, but that's to be expected. I'm sounding a bit croaky actually. It's just that I'm not used to talking, I think. Excuse me. Today I think I'm going to do a bit of gentle pottering around the garden. It's supposed to be a lovely day. They are predicting thunderstorms. If it gets hot, we trigger thunderstorms, but whether they reach us or not, I don't know. My pixie Hannah was out in the garden yesterday, so I'm going to go around and finish off bits that she didn't do yesterday. We've been harvesting broad beans. They're coming out of our ears now. I harvested the first lot of soft neck garlic, which looks amazing. That's drying in the greenhouse. And the runner beans and the tomatoes. Oh, we've had a couple of tomatoes. And the runner beans are covered in flowers. So things are moving along. Haven't gone mad this year in the garden. Had a few little hiccups getting in the way, but pleased with what we have done. Though, as always, the onions are very slow. So with that, I think I'm going to love you and leave you. I'm going to go and get out of this nice warm jumper and tidy up the debris and catch up with you soon. So stay creative, stay safe, and I'll see you soon. Bye.